So I'm trying to start 2021 with some words of positivity and advice and encouragement. And I say this about a lot of videos, but this has been something that I've spoken about and something that I wanted to make a video about for a while. So for people that don't know, I'm kind of like off of my main Instagram a lot now. I kind of only log in if I need to like reply to someone or I need to like post something. For the most part, I'm just kind of off it. And I think in this world of mental health awareness, I think social media is one of the main causes for people's decline in mental health. And it just amazes me how many people aren't taking those necessary steps to make sure they have a much more positive relationship with social media. But yeah, I just want to give like a few tips on how you can have a better relationship with Instagram in 2021, what you can do to kind of protect your mental health, and just make sure that Instagram isn't kind of like ruling your life. Well, my first piece of advice would be to just delete the app, honestly. I understand this video won't be very useful for people who like make their money off of Instagram. It's just for like the casual use of Instagram. But my main tip is just to delete Instagram. Even though for all of the good that Instagram can do, there's also a lot of bad. If you are getting to a point where Instagram is really affecting your mental health, you just need to decide whether it's worth it really. Does Instagram give you enough to kind of warrant the strain on your mental health that it gives you? And that's kind of like down to like personal preference. Like I know a lot of people now that are coming off Instagram, and a lot of people that don't mess with Instagram at all. And I think for a lot of people, actually, it might be the best option. Maybe you even haven't considered it yet. Maybe you just think you need to have it because all your friends are on it, because celebrities are on it or whatever. Maybe just delete it for a while and see how you go. You might not rely on Instagram as much as you think you do. And for those people who think they can't delete Instagram, I mean, it's fine. You're not a weak person for wanting to have Instagram. Like, I do get the draw of Instagram. I mean, as a photographer myself, to get my work out there, Instagram is a really good tool for me, which is why I don't want to delete it altogether. If you don't want to delete it, then another tip is just to take some breaks. And this doesn't mean like take breaks during the day, like an hour, 2-hour break or whatever from Instagram. This means like take literally weeks or months off of Instagram. Not having to worry about notifications or likes or comments and having to worry about engaging with people. Like, it can be like a real stress reliever. At the beginning of 2020, I took like, I think it was like a 4-month break from Instagram, and it's honestly like one of the nicest things ever. If you don't want to delete the app altogether, just log out and take a break from it. Next tip, which I don't think actually a lot of people consider, is create a second account. And what this means is that you have your main account where you're basically like following like a bunch of people. A lot of people follow you, but creating a second account where you follow less people, you're still getting your Instagram fix. So you're still on Instagram, but you're not engaging with it as much as you would if you were on your main account. If you have a second account where less people are following you and you're following less people, there's a lot less strain on you. You're consuming a lot less content, and you don't have to worry about Instagram as much. So it's a good way to kind of still get the benefits of Instagram, but it's not as intense as it probably would be if you're scrolling through your main account. Next tip is unfollow people regularly. And this is something that you probably should be doing like every single week. You'll be surprised at the amount of people you probably follow whose content you haven't seen in ages, or whose content you just like don't want to see anymore. And you can even make a decision where you carry on following these people, and you start engaging with the content more because you want to see the content, or the fact that you don't even see the content doesn't change your life in any single way. Then you can just like unfollow them. Honestly, it feels so, what's the word? It feels like a relief when you can just whittle down your following list, because it always amazes me that I follow quite a lot of people on Instagram, like over 1,000 people, but I'm just like, I don't care about this many people's lives, so why am I following this many people? Fair enough, a lot of people that I follow are just follow back, so people that follow me. But for people that don't follow me back, I'm just like, do I care about these people's lives? Like, and a lot of times I just don't. If I'm going to unfollow someone, it doesn't change my life in any significant way. Next tip is just try engaging with people. If you are someone that wants to kind of use Instagram in a more healthy way, then if someone comments on a picture of yours, then reply to their comment. If you see someone's content that you like, don't just give it a like, actually comment on it and tell people that you like their content. There's nothing better than being told that you're doing a good job. And especially when it's something artistic, if someone's putting out their artistic skill or they're giving you some sort of content to consume, there's nothing better that a content creator can hear than someone saying that, this piece of content is good, I really like this really spoke to me in some sort of way. And I think the thing with this as well is that it's to make sure that it's meaningful. You'll see like a lot of engagement groups on Instagram and people just, putting emojis or saying, oh, nice pic. But if you really want to have a better relationship on Instagram or really, really boost your following or whatever the case may be, then I think if you're going to comment on someone's picture, then try and make it a meaningful comment. Don't try and make it something that you can copy and paste to anyone's picture. Because I think those are always the best comments. They're the best comments to give and also the best comments to receive. Speaking of commenting, think about whether you really need to comment on someone's photo. And this isn't talking about like positive comments. This is talking about criticism or anything negative. If your comment isn't coming from a place of either positivity or some sort of like constructive criticism, then there's no point in commenting there, because like it doesn't help you or it doesn't help that person in any kind of way, and it's just kind of like spreading that negativity, which we get enough of on social media. So if you see a post that kind of makes you feel a certain way, by all means feel free to speak your mind. But if you're going out of your way to kind of berate people or complain or whinge about something, then just think about whether you actually need to do it. It's just added stress for you and added stress for that person. A lot of times you can just kind of see something, be an adult about it, and kind of like move on with your life. You don't always have to comment on every single thing. So just be mindful about the things that you are engaging with, and just always try and keep engagements as positive as possible. And if you feel you're getting in a place where something is becoming more negative or more hostile or more aggressive, then just kind of like take yourself out of the situation. It's not worth engaging in. And speaking on that, actually, it amazes me the amount of people that are willing to have an argument with people online that they don't even know. Like, I don't even like arguing with people that I do know. So you'll never ever catch me arguing with someone online that I have no clue about. I do get that if you see kind of an injustice or you see something that you feel is wrong, then I understand people wanting to speak out and kind of like combat that. But there are ways to go about it that is constructive, that is positive. And if it gets into like a yelling match or a character assassination on people, it doesn't make sense to me that you'll do that with someone that you hardly even know. You're letting someone make you feel a certain way, and they're somewhere a million miles away behind a screen, and you know nothing about them, because it can never lead to anything good. That's just my thoughts on that matter, but you do you. A big one is forget the likes. Just imagine yourself the way you scroll through Instagram and the amount of likes that you give to people. They don't really mean anything. When you're posting a picture and you're worried about how many likes it gets, just remember that the majority of people that are liking your picture, they literally look at your picture for maybe 1 to 2 seconds and move on to the next thing. They probably don't even read your caption. Obviously, I understand the feeling that likes give you. It kind of makes you feel appreciated. It kind of makes you feel good about yourself. But just remember that for the most part, those likes don't mean much. Also, Instagram's algorithm itself doesn't really prioritize likes anymore. It's much more about shares and saves rather than likes and comments. You yourself shouldn't prioritize likes either. I understand the feeling that comes with being liked, I guess. So, one thing that I like to do on Instagram is I like to post, then just log off of Instagram. I find that when I post and leave Instagram, I'm not worrying about how many comments I get, I'm not worrying about how many likes I get. And then next time I log in, I find that, I've got so many notifications because so many people like my last post. And I'm not constantly looking every single minute about how many likes is it getting and that kind of thing. Also, one thing I think people aren't aware of is that be wary of your envy. It's so easy to like see people kind of living a life that you wish to be living on Instagram, and it makes you envious. It kind of makes you jealous. These people aren't doing anything wrong by posting these things online, but what they're posting is kind of making you feel a certain way about your own life. Honestly, I think it can have such a negative effect on your mental health to a point where you're not even realizing what it's doing. You may be wanting to kind of like support people and be happy for people that are able to live this life, but in the back of your mind, you could be thinking, but I wish I could live this life. And that is not a good, healthy emotion to have. Just think about the amount of people, the amount of influencers, the amount of celebs that you follow on Instagram, and how many times you're seeing this. Yeah, it's not great. What I tend to do is either just unfollow that person, because I know that for me it's not having a good effect on my mental health. Or, as I said at the very beginning, just like take a break from it, just erase it from your mind. You don't have to think about it. Yeah, it's a tricky one, because the thing with that as well is that you're not seeing anything overtly negative on your timeline. In fact, it's normally like quite a positive thing, but the way we internalize it and the way we kind of perceive it and the way we kind of like understand it within ourselves, it can kind of turn into something that's kind of negative. But yeah, don't be envious of anyone else's life on Instagram. It's not a good place to be. Number one is be ready for backlash for anything that you post. Especially if you're posting kind of like controversial or something that's very, very opinionated. And everyone is free to post whatever they believe, whatever you feel, whatever you want to post. You're free to do that. Always be mindful of the fact that there are going to be people that don't agree with you and people that want to challenge your ideas. And as long as they're doing it in a respectful and kind way, then that is totally fine. If you're not ready for that kind of backlash or for people to be me telling you that you're wrong, I would say maybe steer clear of doing that. But yeah, don't live in a bubble. Don't live in an echo chamber. Be welcoming of people that kind of have different opinions than you and different mindsets, because they're all around us. They're on Instagram, they're in real life, and you're going to face them. And the last one is just remember, Instagram isn't real. Like I said before, we can see people kind of like living these lives that we want to be living, but for the most part, people's lives aren't like that 24/7. We don't know what people are going through. Someone's life can seem amazing on Instagram, but that isn't always the case. The way I like to think about it is, as humans, as people, we're building houses, but Instagram, you're just looking through a window. And that is my analogy and my insight into that. I thought it was quite a good one, actually. Instagram is like a simulation. It's like a game. It's not real. I hope everyone had a good new year, and I'm wishing you all the best for 2021. And here's hoping that you can have a better relationship with Instagram. But as always, if you want to like, you can subscribe, and peace.